Hey besties, welcome back to my channel. Today I am so excited to give you guys a recap on all of the books that I read in the month of October. I know it's the beginning of November, but I already have my Christmas tree up. October was the first month that I created a TBR jar to select different prompts, and I ended up selecting 10 books. So today I will go through those first and let you guys know the books that I actually read and some that I did not. These were all of the books that I selected. I think it was semi-successful for the books that I read on my TBR. Usually I read between 4 to 8 books a month, and typically it's around 4 to 5, but recently I've been dedicating more time to making videos for you guys and trying to read some more books, and I'm growing my TBR, you guys, so I need to tackle all of the books that I have. The first book that I have here is The Deal. The Deal was my 5-star pick, and I did not get to this book, so I'm a little disappointed, but I'm not too mad about it because I am going to try to read this soon. I've been saying that, but I will definitely get to this. I've heard amazing things about this book, and sadly I just didn't have enough time to read it. The next book I have is The Long Game by Elena Armas. This is a new release that I've been wanting to read, and I did not get to this book either. This was my small town pick, and I am hoping to get to this in November for sure because I will be doing a video, so hopefully you guys will see this soon. I apologize that I didn't get to both of those books or some of these books, but I will try my best to get to them as soon as possible. The next book that I actually didn't get to, but I'm going to wait a little bit, would be Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. This is the second book in the Bellinger sister series. I didn't want to pick up something summery, so I might start this the beginning of next year. It was because I picked a summer book from my TBR prompt jar. The next book I have is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This was a book that I chose that had over 500 pages, and I did not get to this book either. So far it sounds like a disappointment. I do want to read this one before the year is over because it's like an enemies to lovers, and I've heard that this is like a true enemies to lovers, so I really want to read something with that trope. Next I picked Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q Satano, and this one was my pick for a book under 300 pages, and I actually did get to this one. If you guys missed out on my recent video where I read mystery books, this was in there, and I really enjoyed this book. It's just like something cozy and fun to read during the Halloween season. The only thing I have to say about it is that the main issue just dragged on a little bit, but you guys can see more of my thoughts in the reading vlog, and yeah, it was a pretty fun read. I forgot to tell you guys what I rated the last book. This one I gave a 3.5 out of 5 because I really enjoyed it and would still recommend this book, although I don't think it was like something I will rave about, but it was a good enjoyable read. The next book I have is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and this was my pick for current hyped up book. You guys, I actually did get to reading this one, and I gave a 4-star because it was a really good book. I was just so shocked while reading this book. I also included this book in my mystery reading vlog, so you guys should go check it out, but I honestly can't wait to get to the second one. A really fun read, and it was perfect for the Halloween season. Then the next book I have is Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. This was my book pick for a book under 400 pages, and I just love the sprayed edges with this purple cover. This was a fun read. It was like a cozy fantasy, but has this mystery aspect in there and a hint of romance. I thought there would be more romance, but I feel like this is going to be a series, so it might progress later on. I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5, and this was actually the 50th book that I've read so far this year, so I was really happy about it, and it is a quick read. And then the next book I have here is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and you guys already know about this one. I went back and reread this book because that was my prompt for last month, and I was planning on rereading this book anyways because Iron Flame is coming out very soon. So I had to get back into this world, and I really annotated the book. This is still a 5-star read for me, and honestly I am obsessed with this world. If you guys haven't read it, I think this is the perfect time to pick it up because it's really cozy and it was so fun. Then I picked a book with over 5 words in the title, and I selected A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I actually read this book on my Kindle and I really enjoyed it as well. I didn't expect the ending. I was surprised by myself that I didn't get really scared, and I don't know, I've been into that mystery kind of mood, so I ended up giving this book a 4.5 out of 5. I haven't read a lot of murder mysteries or anything like that, but this one was different and I did enjoy it. I think I'm going to stop there and not continue, but this was also in my mystery reading vlog. The last prompt on my October TBR was a couple on the cover, and I selected Divine Rivals because this cover is just beautiful. I would not count it because I read like 3/4 of the book. I'm still not done with it, but I did read majority of it in October, so I did want to mention that I somewhat read this book, but this will be talked about in my November wrap-up. So far I am enjoying this book, so you guys will see it in a reading vlog very soon. I read 5.5 books out of 10, so that's pretty good, a little bit more than half. So I think that was a pretty successful month. I'm hoping to read some of the ones I didn't get to in November, so let's go on and talk about a few other books that I did end up reading in October. It feels like it has been ages since I've read Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I really enjoyed this book. This was like the first book that I finished in the month of October. It was a very easy read. This was just a refresher to me because at the time I didn't feel like reading any more contemporary romance books, but then I was kind of like not feeling fantasy as well, and I just couldn't get into a book. But this was such a nice book to get into. I ended up giving this one a 4 out of 5 stars because it was really enjoyable to read and see everything that Carrie Soto went through. I also do have a reading vlog for this, so you guys can see that. Honestly, I love Taylor Jenkins Reid writing, so I would highly recommend this book. Then I also read The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and this is the first book in the series. I ended up giving this a 4.5 out of 5 because I thought it was different and the chapters are so short, you guys. I sped through this book and honestly it was so fun. I thought that everything mentioned in this book was necessary, and I was a little scared while reading this book, to be honest, but that's because of all the mysteries in the house and just I didn't know what to expect. The second book sounds interesting, so I can't wait to get to that one and continue with the series, but I would highly recommend starting this series. This and The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, those were both great books and I'm happy to have read them in the month of October. Last but not least, I finished Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings, and this is the second book in the Magnolia Parks Universe series. This was so good. I gave this a 5 out of 5 because of all the characters in this book and just this book in general. It touched my heart and I went through every emotion. It was like heavy but also cute. Just don't go into this book expecting it to be a cute like romance, because this one is somewhat like a mafia kind of. It has like that mafia aspect to it, and I can't wait to continue with the series. I just hope that it gets better, and I gave Magnolia Parks I think a 4-star rating, but this one was such a good book and I love Jessa Hastings writing. So these were all of the books that I read in the month of October, and honestly this month I had such a great reading month. These books were so fun and I just had a great time reading all of them, so I would highly recommend all of them. I tried to read a little bit more, but honestly you guys, I was reading like 4 different books at the same time because I just couldn't get into any of them. But just remember that it doesn't matter how many books you read as long as you're enjoying the books that you're reading, because that's what's important to me. I feel like as long as I enjoy the books that I'm reading, then I would consider the month a success. And I, can't wait to see how many books I can share with you guys in November. If you guys haven't already checked out my November TBR Prompt Jar Selects My Read, I will link it above because there are some amazing books in there, and I just can't wait to see how many I can get to in November. And I'm hoping that, I can get a lot of reading done before the year is over. It was such a good month, and I'm so happy to have checked off some of these books. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate all of you guys. Bye!